Good afternoon, everybody. By the time this posts, probably good, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and I hope you're well into your turkey coma. Um, my guest today is Sarah Cho, who wrote Red Light at AWA. I'm going to let you describe Red Light because I would take up half of our time describing Red Light.
Yeah, I'll give a really succinct log line. So essentially, Red Light is about the first AI that's programmed with real human empathy. Her name is Lacey, and she works at a brothel where she's kind of kept captive. And when she meets a young orphaned girl named Natalie, it inspires her to want to break out of her prison and see the outside world, which she's become so in love with. And so that's the story of Red Light.
See, um, between it being AWA, it being Priscilla Petrades, who I adored her work on Hit Me,
She's amazing. Yeah.
um, and just the idea of the AI sex worker, which just has so many different ways that you could go with it. I knew it was going to be a book I read. I don't think there are many AWA books that I don't read. Excellent company have been doing a great job of curating content, uh,
Absolutely.
but I wasn't prepared for the empathy turn. The idea that it was gonna that the story was gonna be grounded in, oh, we have this AI sex worker that was built to do this, who's now questioning this because she's seen a snow globe and she's seen the outside a little bit, and she was given a book, and then she met a human child, and all of that is enough to say, hey, I don't know. I mean, not quite literally, but essentially, I'm done with this.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm done with this. I've been really empathetic to all sorts of people because that's what I was programmed to do. But what about me?
Absolutely.
Though it's still also, I'm super empathetic because it's what about this little girl?
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that there's a hell of a story there. Um, but then what really roped me in and made me go, oh, I need to write Sarah and Priscilla right now. And you got back to me, so I get to talk to you. Priscilla, hopefully someday. She works really hard, I hear.
Yeah. Yeah. She's
Artists
going.
don't respond as often anyway.
Yeah. I mean, they really are carrying the
Yeah.
brunt of the work. I
Yeah.
know. Like,
Yeah.
I just put
No,
words on a page and talk about where the story's going to go
yeah.
and put some dialogue, but they're like drawing every
This is
single.
this is one of the reasons that I have a steadfast rule. I will ask writers if they can help me get in touch with artists or bring artists with them. I will not do that with artists. I don't want artists to, in any way, shape, or form, think that I am using them to get to their writer.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Priscilla is swamped right now. There's a
Right.
lot on her
Oh
plate.
yeah, no, I have a good friend in the industry who is either her next or her second project after that down the road, but it hasn't been announced yet, so I can't talk about it. So that I know she's hard at work because I know about stuff that she's got on her plate that hasn't even been announced.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But that also means it's more likely that I'll get a hold of her eventually. But here I am going off on digressions because I do that way too much. You both wound up writing things that made me. I had it in the back of my head as I was reading the comic in general. Oh, this is like even better than I thought it was going to be. I'd love to talk to them. But then you both wrote letters at the end, and I'll talk about hers later. For the listeners, it's also great. Um, but you talked about empathy. You talked about um, is something that I know altogether too well because it was pretty much the story of my relationships until I met my wife. And I met my wife because I'd stopped looking for relationships,
Yeah. Always how it goes, huh?
like completely stopped looking for relationships. I had to be sucked into it.
Yeah. Against your will, but don't tell
Well,
your
I
wife.
mean, no, my wife was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota,
Mhm.
and I was in Chicagoland, 492 miles away. She had opened her OK Cupid window to 500 miles, and
Yeah.
I was her top match. So she wrote to me. if she had been any closer, I don't know if I would have written back.
Wow. Wow.
You know, I mean, it's crazy, but the fact that I could write back starting off with, you're 500 miles away, right? And therefore the relationship was able to build without any of the normal. I mean, when you talked about if you feel the spark run, I'm like, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spark is often, when you have that wired wrong.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm curious, for me, I generally, when I managed to finally break it down, I generally felt the spark, and because it was empathy related, but it was like I felt their pain and saw an opportunity to, I don't want to say fix, but
Yeah,
help them.
yeah,
I had a guardian angel complex,
absolutely.
only generally with people who were so broken that I was just going to become their new target.
Absolutely. And you get sucked into it. And, like as much as you want to help them out of their darkness starts enveloping you.
Right,
Um, and it just becomes a toxic situation.
right.
Yeah. And it goes back to what you were saying is you're wired wrong, right? Like
Yep,
something wrong in your
yep.
childhood or
And
what
we
you,
could get into huge amounts of that too if we wanted to. But my mom listens, so I don't want to take too many pot shots. I
sure.
mean, not that I haven't actually had these conversations, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Hi,
Absolutely.
mom.
Yeah. Hold on with Cat's mom.
So yeah, no, when I read that too, I'm like, okay, so this is a really interesting way to exercise demons that I'm really familiar with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't even know where my question is here, but talk to me some about that.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad that it was able to help you in that way and that you saw yourself in Lacey's character because that's really why I write.
Right,
I want to make a positive impact in the world because with storytelling, when you're in a character's shoes and you see everything they see and they hear everything, you hear everything they hear and you experience everything they experience, it creates empathy. And especially
right,
if you yourself have gone through a similar situation, you're able to process, I think, the things that you've experienced in your life and the traumas you've experienced in your life and see it in a slightly new light, or at
right,
least be able to have some sort of catharsis.
right.
And so that's
As a
really,
teacher, I'll say also for the people who haven't gone through it, being able to present them with fiction that helps them understand others is incredibly valuable as well.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I think this is an issue that plagues a lot of people who have
Mhm.
grown up in a similar situation, as it sounds like me and you, Dan. Um,
Well,
and like empathy is important and love is important.
Right.
But a lot of the times when you pour from an empty well, you just end up slowly killing yourself.
Yes.
And I think that's something that I really wanted to tackle in this
One
graphic
of the
novel.
things that I remind myself, I sometimes even remind my wife, because even with my wife, I didn't manage to completely get away with it. I've just been way better at having the boundaries.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
You,
That's the
you, you
magic
know,
word.
is that sometimes I'll say to her, yeah, no, I got to put my own mask on first.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. If
I
an
love you
airplane,
to death. I
yeah,
can't fix you.
exactly. All you can really do is be there for them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can help out to the extent that it doesn't jeopardize my health.
yeah,
When it
exactly.
starts to jeopardize my mental health, then I need you to go somewhere else for a while. Not like leave me, but call your therapist, call your best friend, call your sister, and it's so hard, particularly for people who are empathetic. And I think even more so once we've been through the trenches and fixed some stuff in us. So it's like, oh, I know how to do this. Let me help you.
Yeah. I think part of it is like we understand what it's like to be in such a dark place. So when we see someone in a dark place, we're like, I don't want to leave you alone. I don't want you to be left to deal with all this by yourself because that's how we felt, right? When we were
Yeah.
going through a dark
Yeah.
place. But
Yeah.
there
The
are
worst,
people,
the worst
yeah,
is when it's your kid.
yeah.
My son managed to be me all through high school, only like a year or two ahead of me. So I'm like,
That's
dude, I'm like, dude, these are lessons that I wanted to help you learn without having to experience them.
yeah, absolutely.
On the flip side, now as the 21-year-old father of two, he's also like 10 years ahead of me in terms of maturity and taking care of himself and whatnot. So he did a lot of things right, and I'm told to believe that I did something right too, but I don't know if I actually do yet.
You made progress. Yeah, like you made progress. I mean, the fact that
Right.
he is like a living, breathing human adult who has
Right.
his shit together, it sounds like
I mean, as with any custodial parent of two, uh, shit together is a fluid question, I guess is the best way to put it.
absolutely. No, I mean, I'm
The
20.
kids are fed and happy. They go to
Yeah.
the doctor when they need to. The rent is paid.
Yeah.
He's actually pretty good at finding time for himself. Having the time to find for himself is a whole different thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I hope I think everyone should go to therapy. So I hope that he's also
Yes.
going to
Me
do
too. Me too.
it.
I'm blessed to have had the same therapist for I was it came up with a student yesterday and they're like, how long have you been seeing your therapist? And I had to sit for a second. I'm like, it'll be 30 years next April
Oh,
that
wow.
I've been blessed to have the same therapist.
That's incredible. But and
I've
that
had
means
other ones like intermittently, like, if I was far enough away, before Zoom. Now I don't even have to have another one
yeah,
because we
it
just,
doesn't
I mean, he
matter where
moved to
you
St. Petersburg and we still
are.
meet once a month.
Yeah, yeah.
But before that, if I lived, he was in the city of Chicago. So when I was like out into Cal, when it was a 2 hour drive in, it meant I saw him once every couple of months and maybe I needed somebody more. But that was always the first question for a new therapist. Do you
Yeah.
mind that I'm under somebody else's care as well? If you
Yeah,
can't handle that, if you have an ethical problem with that, you guys can share notes. I got no,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not trying to, but you can't get me to, oh, I'm going to give up the therapist who saved my life so many times I stopped
So
counting.
absolutely. And I think in therapy, what's really important is also the relationship that you
It
build with
is.
the therapist and that trust that's kind of built in. And so, like, even my therapist, I haven't seen her for 30 years quite yet.
Right.
I'm only 28, so that
Well,
would
then I
be
hope you haven't seen her for 30 years.
yeah. In the womb or like in my
I mean,
mom's
don't get me
egg.
wrong. I'm all for child therapy.
Yeah. But that might be a little bit too, like in my dad's sperm getting therapy,
No, I mean,
like that.
I
But
think it would have to be your mom's egg because I think sperm doesn't the eggs are around for longer before they come out, whereas
that's
sperm
true.
generates. So I don't know if your
That
dad's
is
sperm
true.
was there 30 years ago.
That is true.
As this conversation takes a really weird turn.
Yeah, I'll take responsibility for that. But yeah, I was just to say like the therapist that I've been seeing her for about 4 years now,
Right.
and the last 4 years have been really pivotal for me. I've been through like a lot of life changes, very major life events, and the fact that she's seen me through all of that and been able to understand me through all of that, she understands my history, she
Right.
gets me, and that
You
just
don't
makes
have to
life.
have that get up to speed time, which is
Yeah,
always a pain in the
exactly.
neck.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and the other thing I'll toss in, just because it's like we're giving advice to the world right now, so I feel like I'm in a place where I can not just ask questions, but um, every time somebody says like, "I tried therapy, it doesn't work for me," I'm like, "Okay, how many therapists did you try?"
Yeah, yeah,
Because there are different ways of going about it. There are different, I mean, and for that matter, and this is like the weirdest thing, but I mean, my wife actually wound up doing it recently and it worked, even though she was terrified of doing it. She had like 3 sessions with a new therapist and it just wasn't clicking. She's trying to figure out what to do. And I said, Kelly, you tell the therapist that you're not clicking and you
yeah.
tell her as best as you can why, and you ask her to recommend somebody. And one of two things is going to happen. Either she's going to go, oh, I think I can do that for you. Give me another session. Or More likely she's going to go, oh, I know the perfect person for you, which is
Yeah.
exactly what happened.
Amazing. I'm so glad.
Therapists want you to get better. They don't
Yeah.
care that much about keeping you as a client. I mean, one of the reasons my therapist loves that we still get together is, in general, therapists don't get to know how the story ends.
Yeah.
They're around
Absolutely.
for X number of sessions until you're better or the insurance runs out or whatnot. And if you have another crisis a year, 2 years, 4 years down the road, even if you go back into therapy, you're not necessarily going to the same person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, by the very nature of their job, their goal is to have you stop being a client.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, if you're going to get better help from somebody else,
Yeah.
they're going to send you to somebody else.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You
And I
know,
think like therapists absolutely get it because there's personality differences. There's also like ideological differences, like
they're,
different
they're
study
yeah,
under
they're
different.
all
Yeah.
different types of therapy.
Yeah.
I mean, we could give a whole alphabet soup of DBT and CBT and and some of the best therapists are like, yeah, no, I mean, you ask my therapist, what ideologies, like, it's like I've learned about them all, but I don't really think I'm any of them. I kind of feel for what seems right for this patient.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and I think that's the hallmark of a good therapist is
Right.
they're really able to like get to know you and understand what's best for you. And yeah, and at the end of the day, if you do have a really good therapist and you've been with them for a while, they do start to like care about you as a person. And so like going back to that idea of like they don't get to see how their clients' stories end, but if you have a really good therapist and you're with them for like 30 years.
Right. I mean, for me, what wound up happening is I knew he was my guy relatively early on. I mean,
Yeah,
he'd originally been the guy that I had to go to get 6 more sessions with somebody else
got it.
approved,
Yeah,
right? But I would get more work done in 2 sessions with him than I
yeah,
would in the 6 sessions that he'd approve.
yeah.
So I
Uh,
remember actually having a day, and I was like in a Godfather phase. So I literally I said, Mickey, you're my wartime consigliere. Don's a great peacetime consigliere. If I'm doing great, he's a guy to meet with and maintain and whatever, but I'm not doing great right now, and he's not good at that, but you are. Is there any way that rather than you kicking me back to him,
yeah.
we can? So he finagled paperwork and whatnot, and we closed and reopened my case every 6 months for years.
But he did it because he cares.
He did it because he cared. He did, yeah. And and then eventually I just he's a problem solver type. He doesn't want to waste your money. He doesn't want to waste your time. So when I got to that point, I mean, he as oh, I think you can go without making another appointment for a while. After we'd done that for a few times, I'm like, no, I always want an appointment on the books. He's like, but
Yeah.
I don't want to waste your time. I'm like, yeah, no. I mean, first of all, I never feel like I've wasted time with you. But secondly, um, I've discovered that every time we wean off, I have to get to like crisis
Yeah.
before I make the phone call because
Yeah.
I've got this sense of shame that I wasn't fixed, that I wasn't, I
Yeah.
know that we're going to be doing the same stuff again,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but I don't
Absolutely.
want to admit it. But that means I've got two options. I either manage to fix it without calling you or I go to somebody else. I don't want to go to somebody else and I want to call you sooner.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I'm just going to have an appointment on the books at all times because then that changes the calculus in my head. It becomes now, okay, I'm going through a rough patch. Can it wait until I see Mickey
Yeah.
or do I need to see him sooner?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you need to get help before you get into like crisis
Yeah.
mode. That's when therapy is the most effective, is not when you
Yeah.
know.
Identifying triggers is such a valuable thing.
Absolutely. It's just a little bit useful, just a little bit. But yeah, absolutely.
People I confuse people sometimes because I'll immediately start talking about triggers in all sorts of situations that they're like, what? Like, how do people not understand triggers?
It's because they haven't gone to therapy.
We need to start teaching this in elementary school.
Oh, absolutely. Like mental wellness is something that should absolutely be emphasized, I think, much earlier on. Like, I think I was a very depressed kid and a very anxious kid, and I just didn't have the words to describe it.
Well,
And
I mean, let's a short version,
yeah.
but just because I think it will play into any other conversation, tell me a little bit. I mean, you got 15 less years than I do, so it's not a huge long life to tell me about. Tell me a little bit, the bare bones of your life to date.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was growing up, it wasn't the easiest situation at home. I love my parents dearly, and they did the best that they could. They were immigrants from a country that had been war torn in Korea that had been
Right,
war torn for decades. They came here with nothing. They really
right,
struggled a lot. They didn't understand the emotional needs of children or the
right,
mental health needs of children. And the situation at home wasn't great.
right.
So that's kind of how I grew up. And then I was also the weird kid at school. So I was always
All
the
of
like,
this is sounding very familiar.
so I was always the perpetual loner, and like people
Okay.
like really didn't like me, and just because I was kind of being me. And so I had to deal with that at school. And then when I went to college, I got like freedom for the first time, right? And I did the kind of like stereotypical like parties way too hard in college. And I was ostracized for that reason then in
Right.
college because I had gone to the University of Pennsylvania, and not all the kids were as forgiving about the things that I was doing. And so I was slut shamed a lot.
Okay.
I got into like substance abuse as well too in college. And
That's something that drives me up the wall, by the way,
yeah.
because a man has never, ever, ever been slut shamed.
Oh, absolutely. Like if you're a man, you're a player.
It's
You're
high fives.
it's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. If you're the girl,
And it's like,
yeah.
and for like I mean, since I started to understand that dynamic at all, my logical autistic brain has just had, I mean, even before I started to have the actual empathy and whatnot, just the logical autistic brain went, so what? There's supposed to be five sluts in the world that we all share, and
Yeah,
we hate
exactly. Yeah.
them.
Like for that to happen, there has to be, in this case, in a heterosexual sense, like a man,
Right,
woman. Like, so how does the man get high five without, like it's
right,
a
right.
it yeah.
It's like, and to me, it was even worse than when it was the guys doing the slut shaming, because I'm like, wait a minute, if you want your high fives, you need them to behave like that.
Oh, and yeah,
So
yeah. And like the men are slut shaming, women are also slut shaming other
yeah,
women. It like really goes across the board. And that's probably when I became
but again, at least from a logical standpoint, I understood the women slut shaming more, because they're sitting there going, "You're adding the pressure onto me because the boys like you," and I could at least come up with justifications.
sure,
I still
sure.
don't think it's good. I mean, this is the over empathizing here that you write
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, but like if they didn't slut shame other women, then maybe if they wanted to, they'd feel more free to,
That
pursue
too. There
what
you
they
go.
want to do, and then everyone's happy. Like everyone's happy in the solution.
Actually, and then I think I was 17 when I read Mark Twain's Letters to Earth, or Letters from Earth. And there's
Okay.
this great portion of it, because I think it's Gabriel writing back to Michael.
Yeah.
It's an angel writing back to another angel. And there's this great portion of it, like 5 or 6 pages, that is he starts out with, they've got this weird vision of heaven. They think that in paradise we sit around on clouds playing harps. Why? I mean, if they don't sit around playing harps here, why would
No,
they think
you're
that they go sit around playing? And they don't think we have sex. We have sex all the time. I mean, I've seen the sex they have here, and I understand why they we wouldn't think we had our sex lasts much longer, et cetera. And what is this? What on Earth? One man can have 7 wives, but a woman can't have 7 husbands. A woman could actually handle 7 husbands, but a man, he's spent after half an hour.
That's the argument I constantly make, where it's like, men have a refractory period, so it doesn't quite make sense. Whereas, women can just go on and on and on.
I
It
mean,
does.
this is and this is one of those arguments that will get me in so much trouble so often. But it's why I think the entire dichotomy, not just the slut shaming, but the concept of monogamy, the idea that children should be raised in a nuclear family rather than by a community, that sort of thing, is all about men asserting power.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's
It's
like a
all about men
ownership.
asserting power.
Yeah. 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 It's the idea of like ownership.
They went, wait a minute, we can't have babies. They can. This is our wedge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah.
And it
Sexist.
probably also had a little bit of they can't or we can't have babies. They can. They're smarter than us. We need a wedge.
Yeah, and comes in yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but cough cough religion. But, it's one of the ways
Yeah. Yeah.
in which I think some of this is kind of carried out into the world.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Though, I mean, I also think, I mean, when we really look at it, I think most religion is about they'll take one or two good things that are so obvious that you shouldn't need a religion. I get so frustrated when people think that you can't be moral without a religion. I'm sitting there going,
oh,
really?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Really? And I say this as somebody who, if it weren't for all the Christians out there being crazy, would would call myself a Christian more happily because it's
Absolutely.
how I grow up and I take a lot of comfort in it.
Yeah,
There's a great comfort in the idea of grace, right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
But so many horrible things have been done with it. I
Yeah,
mean, I
like
mean,
I
Mike
think
Johnson took all of 30 seconds to both say, you want to know my opinion on anything, read the Bible, and show opinions that Jesus would have slapped him upside the head for.
sure, sure. Like it's yeah, like I think religion itself is a very beautiful thing, and when you
Right,
read texts like the Bible or the Quran or
right,
what the Torah, like
right.
it's incredibly benevolent, incredibly loving. But I think the problem comes when
Or at
like
least parts
human
of it.
or at least parts of it. But the problem
The
comes,
Gospels more than Paul, the Psalms more than like Acts or Judges or
sure, sure, sure. But I think the issue is like when human beings get
yeah.
involved, like I mean, even like whole parts of the Bible were thrown out at some point by some human being.
But somewhere along the line, huge sects of Christianity decided that even though it was heretical 400 years ago, the Bible was the literal word of God.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
wait a minute, how does that work? And why would God tell Paul to start his letter? This is Paul writing to the Ephesians.
Yeah, I don't know the Bible too well, so I think this is where I will
No, that's fine. I just
this
it's the little
conversation.
thing, it's
I get it though.
I
I
would
get
think that God would be a better writer, is all I'm saying.
it. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, still written by men at the end of the day.
So, okay, that I've got that's a good picture of where you came from the
Yeah.
comic as we get back to, but then I mean, as the weird kid, it could be that you've just been the sci-fi futuristic world geek forever. But what twisted it? What made you decide I'm going to tell this as an AI story? As
Yeah. So, I when I look at technology as a whole, And with the internet, the reason that it had such a big boom was because of pornography.
Of
And I
course.
think sex has always been a
Printing press
concept.
too.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like everything.
Cameras,
Exactly.
VHS.
Everything has to do with sex at the end of the day. It all comes back to sex, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Emmy Guinness wrote a great mini comic over at Oh Joy Sex Toy about the history of the vibrator, and it's been around for a lot. It's been around, I think, longer than toasters.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think there is some like architecture, like
Yeah,
archaeological finds of like stone.
it's like the second we have even a remote new technology, the first question is how can we apply this to human pleasure?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like that's always been like the inherent
But
motivation.
let's not talk about it because
Yeah.
I mean that would be gross.
So I just made an entire comic about it instead.
That works.
Um, but yeah, so when I was thinking about AI, and I always like writing about, I think a lot of sci-fi, particularly AI, and a lot of monster movies as well too. All of it comes back down to like how do we define
Human.
humanity?
Okay.
And so that was also something of interest to me. And so it's kind of the combination of all of that that made me think like, okay, what if there is an AI who is programmed with real human empathy and obviously should be working at a brothel because that's the reason she would have come into being in the first place. And so that's kind of where Lacey came from. Yeah.
So why comics?
So I've been a
Because this is
fan of
your first comic, isn't it?
it's my first comic, which I'm really excited about and I'm very proud of.
You should
And
be. It's really, really good. And I hope you
thank
have a
you.
long career in comics
I
ahead
hope
of you.
so too. I hope so too. Yeah, comics I've always been a fan of. I think that the storytelling you can do in the comic book world is so rich. And like the characters have always stood out to me. And particularly, I grew up reading a lot of Japanese manga. And
Okay.
so that's kind of the world that I came from initially. I've since like expanded my like breadth, obviously, but
Right.
like when I was younger, like I was obsessed with manga and anime.
What are some favorites?
Some favorites. So recent favorites that I've really liked have been Chainsaw Man, Hell's Paradise. Some older favorites that I have. There's a manga called Ice Shield 21 that I was a big fan of. Deep Gray Man, I was also a big fan of. And Skip Beat, I was also a big fan of. So those are some of the mangas that I read
You're
as a kid.
actually managing to toss off ones that I don't know. And I will admit that I'm not as versed in manga as I'd like, which is why I always ask that question really quick when I find out people are versed in manga. But we might have to trade some emails just so I know what to read next.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah,
because
yeah,
we really try to go all over the place with our comics. I mean,
yeah.
the purpose of our podcast from the get go was to explore, examine, and elevate the medium of comics, and I
Absolutely.
picked the medium very specifically because it's nothing that frustrates me more than somebody finds out you're in comics and they ask you about the newest Marvel movie. And
Yeah.
it's like, that's not
There's more
comics.
to
That's
the
a well,
world.
but that's a movie. That's not comics.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, but you like superheroes. I'm like, yeah, I like superheroes, but they're not even anywhere near my favorite comics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They were like my gateway drug.
yeah.
I live in America, so they were my gateway drug.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'd highly recommend checking out like as much manga as you can. I
yeah,
think
no,
it's great.
I've been devouring Rumiko Takahashi. I've devoured Inio Asano. Um, big fan of uh Naoki Urasawa, and I've actually been reading some Izuka,
Yeah.
Godfather, particularly. For the longest time, I shied away from because I only do Astro Boy, but when I started seeing his other stuff, I'm like, oh wait, you did Shakespeare? Yes, I want to read your Shakespeare.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
um, so yeah, no, and credit where credit's due. And if you haven't listened to it, you should check it out, though you wouldn't learn as much as I do. Um, Deb Aoki, Chip Zdarsky, and two other people that I can't remember have a podcast called Manga Splaining
Oh
that
shit.
that
Okay.
that started during the pandemic, in part because Chip had never read manga and knew that
Yeah.
there was this whole world that he needed. I mean, this is a guy that drew sex criminals. The guy who
Yeah.
draws sex criminals should know manga. I mean, that's an idea that I'm surprised didn't come out of a manga. The whole orgasming stops time.
I have not read that one.
You should read
So
Sex Criminals is fantastic and actually deals with some of the similar stuff that you're dealing with. I mean,
okay.
it's one of those books that you tell people you're reading Sex Criminals and they look at you funny, but it's all about relationships and sex and emotions
Yeah.
and the cool thing of there are certain people in that universe. I mean, it starts out two
Yeah.
two people who have time stop when they orgasm find each other and then start hatching a plan to rob a bank by having
That
sex in a
makes
broom
sense.
closet, stopping time.
It's very hilarious. I love that. I love
Yeah,
that. But it's proof that you can still have sex in something and still have it have depth and nuance and more
right,
to it than just
right.
sex.
Well, and that's what your book does. That's what so much. I mean, as a parent, I always had other parents like look at me funny because I didn't care about language in movies. I didn't care about sex in movies. I was more likely to um, hold off on letting them see violence or gore.
Oh
But it was
yeah.
always really simple to me.
Yeah.
They're gonna hear the language in their life.
Yeah.
I hope that sex is part of their life.
Yeah.
I don't hope that violence is part of their life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So the entire purpose of fiction is to begin to explore things in a safer environment.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean,
Sex
as
is
as
part
you
of
kind of
me.
like you
Yeah.
went off to college having been, and this is I always use the argument on the playground, when I wasn't the parent that ran to catch them the second they were doing something dangerous. I'm like, no, they need to learn about risk assessment now. I don't want
Oh,
the
that's
first
for
time,
sure.
I don't want the first time that they have to do their own risk assessment be
Yeah.
behind the wheel of a car.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But for so many people, I mean, I think college kids have always been wilder, but I think the more helicopter your parents you have,
Yeah.
the crazier you wind up being in college. Because the second it's there, and particularly, I mean, when you make something out to just be evil and wrong and bad and oh, it will ruin your life, and you
Yeah.
go off and do it, and it's fun and awesome, and your life goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Then you
Yeah.
like ditch everything you learned rather than just
Absolutely. Like finding a
um
middle ground.
right.
Yeah, and at the end of
So,
the day, like, violence and gore in a real life situation will actually put your child in danger.
right,
Whereas sex, as long as they're responsible, they're
right,
using protection, they're, making wise choices.
right.
Um,
Which they're more likely to do if they've actually like talked about it with people who know what they're talking about.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And haven't
I mean,
just
it's
like,
another. I'm a teacher, and like every, you've got whole swaths of the country that are huge into abstinence only education, even though since there was an argument between abstinence only education, all of the data has shown
yeah,
that you have more teen pregnancy among
absolutely.
people who were taught abstinence only. You
Absolutely.
have more disease. You have more all of the bad things about sex.
Yeah, absolutely. Like yeah, you can't like yeah, you can't like totally ban it out of people's lives because it's just not realistic and it's
Yeah,
just not reasonable. And you might as well be able to equip your kids with the tools they need
right,
and the critical thinking skills they need
right.
in order to be safe when they do it. Because sex is natural, it's a part of biology, it's a part of human nature. Without sex, humankind would just die. So
Right.
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's,
Well, I
I
mean, at
think
least
it's an
until
equation
we
of
get the AI down and don't know the difference. And
yeah,
there's
yeah,
been a lot of stories about that. Well, we're running up on time
yeah, yeah.
because I don't want to keep you too long, as much as I could totally talk to you longer. Um, so any last things you want to toss in about the book, about comics in general?
I would just say that I hope people continue to find Lacey a relatable character and a lovable character, and I hope you stay on the journey with her.
I
And
know I will.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And please don't take my comments about religion out of context from this conversation.
I think my co-host Tyler is doing family stuff today. I think Tyler and I have made much worse comments about religion. I think anybody who would take them out of context doesn't listen to our show
um,
anymore.
I swear, yeah, like I believe in the good of religion. I just don't believe that it
I
should
even
be
think you
used
can
for
have a
that.
good religious community. I think
Absolutely.
that they don't always happen.
Yeah. 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 And some of the like big, yeah. Anyways, before I go down this rant
Right.
again,
Maybe next time.
yeah, maybe next time. But
um,
thank you so much for having me, Tad. It was a
well,
pleasure.
well, one last quick question I like to
Yeah, of
ask
course.
everybody. Um, a comic or graphic novel that you love that you feel like not enough other people know, appreciate, have read. That book that you want to be able to talk to everybody about and they haven't read it.
Let me think. I would say it's probably those mangas that I read when I was a kid. Those three, D Gray Man, I Shall 21, and Skippy. They're very different in tone, but D Gray Man is essentially about this alternate reality where there are these demons, and there's a society who's sent to exorcise these demons. But one of these exorcists is part demon, like a lot of manga protagonists are.
I mean,
Uh,
that does seem to be a
a
theme.
trope. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that one's pretty good. I Shall 21. It's kind of a weird manga where it's set in a Japanese high school, but it's about a football team, like American football,
Okay.
set in Japan, and that's actually how I learned all the rules of football as a kid was through this manga.
I mean, I love baseball manga, so
Yeah, yeah. So this
this
is
doesn't
about
shock me.
it's great, and it has like a great underdog character. And Skippy is just a fun read, with a really lovable character who is
Okay.
kick-ass at what she does.
I now
Um,
have Wikipedia pages open for all of them, so if I can track them down and start reading them, I might have you come back just to talk about them.
yeah, it's not for everyone. I'll just say that, but like there are three that made
What I'll say though, Sarah, is in general, if a comic's for anybody, there's a good chance it's for me. I like
it.
way more than I don't like. I define what I like as it's good. So
Yeah.
very rarely do I have a creator recommend something that I go, why did they like I mean, Matt Rosenberg and Tyler Boss got me to read Teen Boat, which is like the most ridiculous concept ever. He's a teenager who turns into a boat.
It's a
And I
very
don't know if it's good, but it's interesting.
well, I might be the first creator that you're like,
I
I
doubt
don't
it.
know what this
I
person.
doubt it. Just glancing at it, I sincerely doubt it.
All right.
Um,
Well, I'm excited to hear what you think.
yeah.
And yeah,
A-
happy
a-
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. I definitely hoping that you can come back when the series is over, because
Yeah,
again, I didn't even want to ask spoilerish questions because I want to see it unfold. Um,
yeah, yeah.
and as I let off with, I don't think we talk mental health enough. I don't think we talk
Yeah.
um, relationships and particularly the sexual side of relationships enough in this society. So it's something that I refuse to be afraid of.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
now. So let
Yeah.
me take us out and then I'll say a couple more words of goodbye and
Yeah.
we'll be done. So for 22 panels, this has been Sarah Cho. We will see you after the next page. And Red Light number 2 is out December 6th. I looked that up and forgot to mention it earlier.
Oh, it got delayed to
Oh, it got
December.
delayed.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
what?
To December 20th, I believe.
December 20th.
Yeah.
Well, man, I went directly to AWA website. You'd think that would be the place that would update it first.
I'm pretty sure it's December 20th.
Okay, sometime
Yeah.
between December 6th and December 20th. I have noticed that there have been a lot of things that like there were a couple of print comics that got delayed this week that
Yeah.
the digitals came out anyway.
Yeah.
So definitely start looking if you've got a global comic subscription because AWA has all of their stuff on global comics. It makes it worth the $8 right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much, Sarah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22 Panels Podcast.